to me, like one of the biggest movie or TV show plot holes, Gilligan's Island, which the whole premise of it is that they're stuck on this island with each other. But there are always people kind of coming and going on the island. Like, could they just have not left with them?
It's like an unofficial resort.
It's just... Yeah.
So people are coming in, but they're still stuck on the island.
Well, they have like guest appearances, right? And it's supposed to be like this little small island. And they would have like guest appearances, but like you only see them for like one episode. So like these people just disappear after that, which makes you think like, okay, let's say they are actually stuck on the island and these people come on and you see them once and then they disappear. Like, is that how they're actually surviving on the island? Like through this kind of weird twisted form of, dare I say, cannibalism?
Maybe they just die in accident.
Maybe. Maybe.
Greetings and fist bumps. This is The Raised Eyebrow, a podcast that explores how the human species can be a bit much sometimes. But somebody's got to do it, so why not us? We are your hosts, Kojo, Alex, and Mike. In this week's episode, why would anybody go in there? That's right. We all wonder why movie characters do things that none of us would ever contemplate doing in real life. That's why movies range from being so damn fun to just plain dumb. So, let's have some dumb fun of our own and look at a whole lot of things that happen in movies that would never happen in reality. How goes it, fellas?
Good. I've been preparing for this episode for about 30 years now. I've watched probably thousands of movies.
I've been waiting for this.
Yeah.
You have this listed on your LinkedIn?
Yeah, this is definitely on my resume. Yeah.
It's part of your qualifications.
Yeah, what qualifies you for this job? I've seen thousands of movies and ate about 2 tons of popcorn.
Criticized them all. Some Google certifications.
Yeah. So we're gonna look at the cliches that are found in these several different movie genres, and just why they're there, really. Yeah. Everything from action to horror, romance, sci-fi, comedy, and then just movies in general at the end. All right, so we'll kick things off with action movies.
Okay, action movies. So the hero always seems to have unlimited ammo. Like they just never reload during a gunfight. Just keep shooting. That's one. Another one, with the villain in action movies, they're always explaining their entire plan instead of killing the hero, right? This is the James Bond bit where, Mr. Bond, I will now take forever to do what made me so dangerous in the first place. And I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to give you time to figure out how to escape this, right?
Yeah, and
Austin Powers.
Classic.
But like, classic. Why don't they just just kill the hero, finish off your grand plan, and then just write it down in a memoir. Go on that talk show circuit, go, see Ellen DeGeneres and Oprah and, do the late night circuit, right? And just then you can kind of tell your story over and over and over again. So they're not just telling one person how you conquered the world, because at this point you would own the world. So no one's really there's no fallout from it, right?
I think it's because they hate the hero so much. It's like the nemesis from the villain's perspective. So once they have the hero captured, they just want to torture them with how they're going to win this thing, but then they don't.
Yeah. It's like that one member of your family who just tells you those stories and just goes on and on and on and on and on. Those people end up becoming movie villains.
Yeah.
That's just Uncle Jeff.
I'm going to kill you.
Don't listen to Uncle.
Yeah.
So rather than telling stories about their most recent trip to the grocery store, they're just gonna, if they end up taking a different path in life and becoming a movie villain, okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
it's basically like a mental torture for the hero.
Basically.
Yeah, and everybody who has to deal with those people in their life. We all have somebody.
We all know that person.
Yeah, we all know that person. And if you don't know who that person is in your life, then that person is
it's
you.
Never fails. What else? Action movies.
How come in action movies it's always like raining or something?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's always a gun battle in the rain.
Yeah, they're always set in Seattle or Vancouver. Yeah.
It's like Pacific Northwest action
Yeah.
movies.
And another one is that police actually get suspensions in action movies, and that only frees up time for them to solve the crime, which makes me think like if why don't we just do that more in real life? Like partly because we should, but also like that would actually lead to a lot of solved crime because apparently this is a great motivator for people to actually solve crimes by getting suspended.
Yeah, you go
win-win.
rogue.
Yeah, go rogue. Yeah, get suspended, solve crimes. It helps everybody.
No paperwork.
Yeah, no paperwork. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Which is another thing. You never see the paperwork in
Oh, yeah.
action movies primarily, but like, you know, there's bureaucracy like crazy in real life. You are going to have some paperwork, you know.
And then one thing is also like most action movies is always vengeance.
And the hero gains like crazy adrenaline superpowers because of the trauma they suffered. So you just can't kill them.
Yeah. My question is always, how do like movie villains build their lairs? Because like, I mean, I recently had to get a permit to cut down a tree in my front lawn, and that was an ordeal in and of itself. But like, they're building like these massive like places. Like there has to be like permits, you know, getting like the hydro in there, the plumbing. You know, but it's true. Like think about it. Like and they have to get like the water in there. Like they have to actually work with the municipality to actually like get all of these things in there in order for their lair to actually work. And then they have to get contracting companies. You know, like all these people like are not talking to each other or recording it.
It's all through the black market.
Allegedly.
It's all underground.
Like, how do they get it built? That's always my biggest question. I want to see like a Discovery Channel TV show where it's about like, you know, instead of like seeing like the houses of like people in Hollywood, I want to see how like a construction show about how movie villains built their lairs.
It's got to be an Elon Musk documentary somewhere.
You think he's building a lair? Yeah. Well, according to a lot of Twitter,
but it's possible
that's the case.
He's got some deal with Saudi Arabia. You know, there is paperwork though. He's just not going to show it to you. I troll Elon. He's doing things for the world, whether you agree or disagree with him. Blows to the head, leaving people unconscious. So it's always like, that's a big one. It's always super convenient to move the plot narrative along, right? But there's never like long-term consequences to being knocked unconscious. Like there's no headaches or like long-term concussion symptoms for the next month.
Yeah.
You know, severe mood swings from the trauma. They just kind of black out from the blow to the head and they wake up at the perfect time in the plot. You know?
And they can still fight.
And they can fight.
With a broken arm, and they still can throw punches.
Oh yeah.
This dude was unconscious. Now he's doing backflips.
Yeah, they're always able to like pop their arm back into a socket or like grab onto that one last bar and hang on for dear life, and their arm doesn't pop out of its socket. Or that's kind of But in terms of like the blows to the head, that does explain a lot of Batman's anger. I think he has like suffered several concussions, and he's just has like that damage to the brain where that's where his aggression comes from. Yeah.
Batman has CTE.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Which would actually explain a lot. And that would actually be an interesting comic book series where, you know, I don't know how that would go.
You ever heard of,
You
ever hear of Dark Batman? Like there's a series, I forget if it's called Dark Batman, but essentially in that series, Batman is super like heavy with the content. So he turns into like a drug addict and he flies through time. He becomes kind of evil and like twisted, more so than, you know, original Batman.
Good for him.
Check it out.
It's
a CTE.
Yeah.
Here's one that I've complained about since I was a kid because I'm a big fight fan. Love UFC and martial arts and boxing. Bad guys attack one at a time. Why? Like that's not how gangs fight. Just jump the guy. What is this, like a dance-off? Just jump him.
Like you're taking turns.
Yeah, what is this? 4 guys at once. Let's go. Finish the job.
Yeah.
Nope. One at a time. The hero has like endless ability to keep fighting.
Yeah.
The goons have just no training.
Another one is how like I guess like action movies and horror movies clearly don't exist in the same universe, because in action movies cars are indestructible, like fly off buildings, they have bullet holes all over the place. But then in a horror movie, they always break down, they never start. It could be like somewhat cold outside and it's too cold for the engine to start, it doesn't turn over. Like, why is that?
Yeah, the car never starts on time.
No, never. Yeah, it's always like in the last seconds.
The killer's chasing you. It's like, we're not doing it now. It's just not going to start. And they always foreshadow it like, yeah, I love this car. Or it's like an old car that's like, I don't know, I can't get rid of it.
I wonder how easy it is to do drifts when you're driving. Because in movies, like most of the time, you can easily do drifts. It's like everyone can drift.
Oh, yeah.
Cars are gymnasts.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess everybody's like a stunt driver. And
yeah, everyone is an expert.
Or there's always one person in the group, and like one person's like, no, don't do it, and he's like, I got this. Like, why is there always one person that got this? There's never like, I don't think this is safe, I think this is a risk we shouldn't take. Fight scenes, they always seem to last forever. Going back to fighting, like that's not how real fights are. Like usually like a couple blows, one person's going down. Done. That's it. One person's going down. This fight's over. But get back up, throw him against the wall, throw him through the window. No blood for some reason.
Walking through walls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What kind of wallpaper is this?
Yeah. The building codes are always like really shitty because like
it's always awful.
Yeah, there's no studs. Like they just just empty wall. Yeah, it's just drywall.
And who pays for all the broken glasses and stuff?
Yeah, there's no insurance calls, no customer service to deal with.
That's part of the paperwork that you don't see. Yeah,
it's just always, you just move on.
They should have an extended cut where they just do all the paperwork in the background. You're sitting on hold for like 4 hours with your insurance company because you got in a fight and your whole house is damaged.
Firing a gun indoors without ear protection. From what I understand, I've never shot a gun, but you should wear ear protection.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh really?
Yeah,
that's what I understand. But bullets go flying in movies, and everyone can hear just fine.
Yep, or on an airplane.
No recovery time. Yeah, on an airplane. Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, so now we'll switch gears a bit to the warm and fuzzy side of movie genres with romance movies, because we watch a lot of romance movies, especially
we
Kojo.
are the experts. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's an expert for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Big Ryan Gosling
it's on his
fan.
resume.
He has a Ryan Gosling poster on his wall.
Okay, romance. The hot girl always falls for the dorky guy, but in real life, it's not how this works.
Yeah, it's never about personality.
That guy needs some credentials and some good looks probably too.
Maybe in movies, women like dorky guys.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
The one that always gets me is like you have that typical plot where like boy meets girl, they fall in love, soulmates, all that stuff, and then he does something like something stupid like cheats on her or like just something that, and then they get back together in the end, and then they're happily ever after. But like what I want to see is the sequel to that movie, when they're dealing with the baggage about what he did to her in the first movie, and she's like resenting him for like cheating on her, and like, or how could you kill my dog? Like, I want to see that movie, and like, yeah, right. That would be a true rom-com. Yeah, because I just want to see this whole thing crash and burn, right?
Yeah, like I want to see the relationship counseling. Like, that's not how relationships work in real life. Or like, do you ever see those movies that have sequels and like the first girlfriend from the first film just like they just broke up, but there's no real explanation.
Oh yeah.
But like you're so invested in the first movie in that relationship, and then the second one, it's like, didn't work out.
It's like The Notebook. Like she was almost married to this guy, and then like she just suddenly leaves him. It's like, so her family's not mad at her. They're just gonna accept this. Like there's no, they're just cool with the whole scenario. They spent all this money. Same thing with like The Wedding Singer. Like all this money went towards this wedding. You just no, it's okay. It was only $20,000. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Where are the consequences?
Yeah, you still got to pay the caterers. You still got to pay the venue. That dress, like, you're really going to use the dress that you wore that you're supposed to wear for the other wedding, the guy that you left at the altar. You're going to wear like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just really want to see that sequel
Yeah.
when the whole relationship just has to confront that reality of why.
Plot holes.
Yeah.
One thing I don't get too in movies too is like when there's like a guy meets a girl in a bar or something, and then they come home,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they start rushing each other. Like the sex scenes,
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're tearing each other's like shirts off, and I'm wondering, so how is she or the guy, like when everything is done, like how are you gonna get home? Your shirt is all ripped up.
Yeah. Or they like knock everything off the table. Who's cleaning this up?
Oh, it's easy. You just get like next day delivery from like your favorite online store, pay premium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sleep in, have brunch. It's there at 11 a.m.
Perfect. So there's no plot hole there.
No, yeah. Next day shipping.
Sounds-
The gig economy has already solved that problem.
Makes sense. People falling madly in love after like 2 dates.
Yep.
Like,
Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just perfect.
Yeah.
Meant to be soulmates. Serendipity. That's not how this works. Or clearly my love life never worked out.
Yeah, it usually takes
kiss-
a few kicks of the can, yeah.
Yeah, you got to build some chemistry. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
Kissing a girl during a terrible argument and then passion ensues. Like, that's not how women react in real life. You can't just shut them up with a kiss. They'll be like, get off me. Slap to the face. Again, maybe this is a reflection of my downfalls. But,
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried that?
Yeah, but
Like she's like yelling at you and you just going for the kiss?
I think like in high school, I
Oh,
think it
okay.
actually worked a little, but then it wasn't sustainable.
I saw it.
it didn't work out.
Rather than
Yeah.
Was
apologizing,
it-
you just
what-
like break the whole argument.
The perfect time to do it is when it's raining. That's what makes it romantic.
Is it though?
So you would. Okay, yeah. So basically, the lesson here is that if you are going to do something that's going to annoy your significant other, make sure you look at the weather forecast first, so that it's raining, so you get the dramatic effect, right? And then she's yelling at you, and make sure you turn on like you have your cell phone with you playing like some kind of like mood setting music. And and as she's kind of yelling at you, then you kind of go in for the kiss, and that would solve everything.
It's all about timing. It's all
Yeah.
about timing. And you need a white shirt too. White shirts help.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, everyone has to be wearing white at the time. Yeah, it has to be like a torrential downpour, and don't be smart and stand under shelter that's like 5 feet away. Like actually stand out in the rain, and it's better if she runs out, and then you have to go chase her down. Yeah.
Yeah, always
Yeah.
chase her down.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, and you always need like a pep talk from like your best friend, or like your father or her father or something like that. There always has to be somebody in their strategic pep talk. Yeah, so make sure you find those people in your life to give you those strategic pep talks,
And they say the perfect thing.
and that's how you have a lasting relationship. Yeah,
Romance.
yeah, like, it's a romance thing. It's not that hard, Just yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why everybody in Seattle is so romantic, because it's raining all the time. They just
Or in London.
or in London, yeah,
It helps with the
yeah,
seasonal
yeah.
depression.
They have the best relationships. Okay, I guess we're gonna go from the fear of relationships to the fear of everything, really, with horror. Yeah, so we'll move on
Nice
to the horror
segue.
genre. Yeah.
Well done.
So the first one for me is that horror movies don't exist in horror movies, because like there are certain things that you just if there's a serial killer after you, always stick together, don't split up, or if you're in a house, like stick together, also dress properly for the occasion, like don't go chasing down ghosts in your underwear, because that never works out for anybody. Also, it leads to a lot of awkward situations if you do. Yeah, and then also just you could, if you're in the haunted house, you could always leave the building and not come back.
You could.
Yeah.
I also think you should also turn on the lights.
Yeah,
Don't use
exactly. Yeah,
flashlights.
yeah. Electricity exists.
No, I think do it in the dark, and I think
Yeah.
like in all horror movies, you should just yell hello a bunch of times when you suspect something suspicious, rather than like running for your life immediately.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
like,
Give
just
yourself
go towards
away.
the danger.
Yeah.
Always go for the danger.
Yeah. And everybody, for some reason, buys crappy flashlights that just don't work. Invest in a good flashlight, because in this situation, make sure the batteries are properly charged. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These are really just rules for life, actually. This isn't really just the stuff. Yeah. Just these are just rules for life. Yeah.
It's just a survival kit at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And then don't go to the basement. There's always
Oh
crazy
yeah,
things
yeah.
happening.
Everything bad always exists
Always.
in the basement. Yeah. Don't look under the bed.
always a crazy-
Just assume there's something evil under there.
It's always a clown or an old lady,
Yeah. Yeah.
usually, or like an old clown lady.
Yeah.
I mean, so I have this thing with zombies that I'm trying to wrap my brains around that. It doesn't make any sense. So, if you're a zombie, the need to move requires certain things, right? Because you're a zombie, perhaps you're dead or whatever, and all your joints are all like hardened and you can't move. You need ligaments, you need muscles, you need like your brain to allow you to move. So, how is it possible that most zombies are even faster than humans? I don't get it.
Defy
There's actually
physics rules.
it actually could be a parasite. There actually are parasites that exist like in reality that would actually make like depending on like there's one that infects snails and it would actually like infect the snail's body, and the snail would actually be a zombie, so it actually would be controlling the snail. And then the other one is there's one where it would infect a bug, like a grasshopper, and it would go into the actual body of the grasshopper and then control it while simultaneously eating the inside of the grasshopper to sustain it. And I think it's a grasshopper. And then it would make the grasshopper have like this need to kind of seek out water, and it would just go for water, drown itself, because in the water then the parasite can then come out from the bug and then live in the water, and then eventually as other bugs come to it or other animals come to it, it can then infect them and then continue on the cycle. So
Interesting.
That's interesting.
yeah. So there actually are parasites that can actually make animals zombies. In terms of making human zombies, I guess if somebody had a very sadistic mind, I guess they could do that, and that could be a plot for a movie. But to your point, most zombie movies don't do that. They're always just like these like flesh eating, like they're like half dead and they're like rotting but somehow alive, and with like the whole nervous system, like that would all be shot, but that you need the nervous system to kind of move the muscles, and the muscles are rotting. So how does that all work?
With your eardrums, for instance, for a zombie to be able to hear or even smell, you need eardrums. And if your eardrums are all dead and there's no brain to even decipher the messages coming in,
Yeah.
how can you hear?
Well, it's easy. So when the person is like, when you're attacked by zombies and you're bitten and then you turn into a zombie, as a part of your welcome package, they give you hearing aids so you can actually hear what's going on. Yeah.
It's part of zombie onboarding.
Yeah, they onboard you to become a zombie. And there's like this,
you now.
yeah,
Go for
you have to go into the stock
go for
room and watch a
orientation and
video. Yeah, orientation in the stock room. Watch this video on a VHS tape that was clearly recorded in like the mid 90s with some zombies telling you about how to be a zombie.
Do some zombie volunteer work for a bit.
Yep. You have to shadow other zombies to kind of to know how how to walk, and
yeah.
And you don't get your zombie tech for a week.
Yeah.
Yep.
For the how to walk, for instance, like even if you're a healthy person, like it's very difficult for you to like run faster and all that stuff. And zombies can run fast.
Yeah, I
Even with a
find
broken knee.
the scariest zombie movies or zombie interpretations the ones where the zombies are like sprinting right? Like the ones where they're like The Walking Dead, they're just kind of,
Yeah.
they're limping towards you. Like, you'll get away, it's fine. But the ones where I think it was Shaun of the Dead, one of those ones, one of the British zombie movies. Like they're sprinting through rooms and stuff. That would be scary because like, how do you combat that, right?
Yeah. I think the reason why that happens is that, like, I think it's just that the zombies that are more like physically able, they just have a better health benefit package.
It's the LeBron James
to the gym.
Yeah, they have benefits. They're able to Whereas the ones who are like
if LeBron,
yeah, exactly.
like if LeBron James turns into a zombie, like does he still have LeBron James's athletic prowess as a zombie, or is it just like one zombie default setting?
And it depends if he lets himself go. Yeah.
We should go back to plot holes that don't happen in real life but do happen in movies.
So how is it possible that ghosts able to like catch people? So if you're a ghost, right, you're basically floating air and you're not like a physical flesh.
Mm-hmm.
How is it able to like,
it's interdimensional
and hurt people?
Interdimensional
Yeah.
power.
Well, shout out to our Ghost podcast. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Ghosts
yeah.
are just tourists from the future.
If you're watching on YouTube, there should be a link.
Yeah, in there we actually give a few ideas in terms of what a ghost actually is, which one of them is that it could be a tourist from the future.
Check that out.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah. But I guess the short answer for that is I don't know. I guess it really depends on the movie, But usually it's just like they're just like moving stuff, like,
It's like the Patrick Swayze ghost. He's like training to interact
with the pottery.
Depends on the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was training to interact with the human world with like touches.
Oh yeah.
But only like certain ghosts can do it. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Strong.
The Others is a good one where you see it from like the
The
ghost
Others is good.
perspective. Yeah. That's kind of interesting.
It's a plot twist.
Yeah.
Yep. The Sixth Sense, classic.
Yep.
Where they're like, it's definitely two different worlds, at least in most movie adaptation.
Yeah.
And then the ghosts kind of interact with the humans, but like not all of them do. And only some humans can see them.
Dearest listeners, it's time to announce our latest and possibly greatest sponsor yet, Fresh Air.
Ooh, this sounds promising. Do we get one of those sample cases we can try out?
Samples? Duh. Just go outside.
But that's just it. Listeners, you know by now that we're all about promoting the act of doing something, and we encourage the hell out of it. So this time, we're encouraging you to pursue the freshest air you can find around you. Now let's get real for a second. Pollution and the rat race is causing us humans to have lower air quality, and we barely talk about it.
Well, that's because it's pretty depressing.
Yeah, also, who walks around looking for fresh air?
See, this is what I'm talking about. A complete lack of awareness for one of the greatest things, which we need to keep around to be a healthy human species.
Okay, I feel you. This is important. But isn't it a first world kind of privilege to have fresh air? We don't want to sound tone deaf, right?
I'm actually digging this, guys. We're telling people this is something that really helps improve quality of life.
Bingo. Fresh air lives among you, and the Raised Eyebrow is proud to chase it with every inhale and every escape from musty city breathing. Caution, fresh air is not guaranteed unless air quality sources are verified.
You're gonna love it! You're gonna love it!
Okay, yeah, let's, so next category, we're gonna go into sci-fi.
Ooh, sci-fi.
So in the movie Matrix, humans are being used as batteries, which the aliens basically, use to manipulate people. And it's like, that's an interesting concept. Like, if that's the case, then why do we have problems with, the global warming and stuff? We should just capture humans and just
So you're proposing that that's the energy solution to our problems?
Human slavery as a battery.
Oh man,
I'm with it. I think it's a good idea. How do we fund this?
So you're watching The Matrix and you're like, you know what? That's a good idea. That would actually solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Let's just create a simulation officially, or the metaverse.
And then my other thing with movies is how come all the aliens always show up in America and not in
Oh yeah.
another country?
Well, not always, not always. But the story takes place in America. America's leading the way. But you'll see,
Yeah.
like, like Cambodia is useless. Oh, what's that ship? We have to save, northern India now.
And then always America has the answers to all the
Yeah,
questions.
America's
Like,
fine.
it's not like, oh, okay, so let's go and see what China thinks about drilling a hole into the earth.
Yeah, everyone
And,
works together
you know.
perfectly.
Yeah.
What does Switzerland think? Nothing. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Well, there's one. Well, it's a book, Childhood's End, and there's a really good mini series that was done on it. And aliens invade, and they kind of put like spaceships in all major metropolitan centers: U.S., Paris, London, Beijing. And in the book, they actually had like each different country kind of negotiates differently with the aliens for certain things.
What if the ship lands in, like, I don't know, Kazakhstan?
Yeah.
Does America take over the project to fight the ship? Or is it like how do we, does Kazakhstan just kind of deal with it? Like,
Yeah.
it's aliens.
Yeah. What are the
Who takes
international
over this?
relations on that? Yeah. What's the protocol?
Yeah, is there like, there's got to be
Yeah.
some network of alien protocol.
Yeah. Like, what if
Yeah.
the aliens land over like international water? Like, is it just,
Yeah. What do you do?
yeah.
Yeah. I also think like the aliens are very clever because for some reason they tend to know all the statues, all the buildings to blow up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
they
we're
have
not
to
shy
blow up,
about like what's
the
popular.
White House.
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do they know the president lives in the White House?
Yeah. What, do they study us?
Most TV shows, probably. Probably fans of The West
Yeah.
Wing.
The aliens are. I feel like the aliens are always more advanced. There's never, because I think that'll be a huge plot hole if they're not advanced.
I mean, that concept is very interesting because even in Independence Day, these guys basically traveled from like miles and miles away, light years. So
Yeah.
that means the ship is like one of the most powerful ships. But for some reason, they came here, and with our low tech gadgets, we were able to like install a virus
Yeah.
onto the motherboard, basically just wiping them out. Don't they have like a virus protection?
Yeah. That's perfect. Like, how do we infiltrate this? It's like, someone taking down the U.S. Army with some virus.
And all they had to
There's
do was just
protocols.
install antivirus.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Will Smith, and then this guy just basically just went in and installed the virus, and boom.
No problem.
Okay, so I have this other one, which doesn't make any sense at all. So in space, objects are basically floating. In a way, they're falling depending on how close they are to another planet. So if you're around the Earth atmosphere, you're basically falling around the Earth atmosphere.
Yeah.
But in the movie Gravity, there's a scene where it's like they fell and one's leg is wrapped around the rope,
Oh, yeah.
and they're both holding on each other with a rope. I don't want to give too much away about the movie.
Spoiler alert.
All she's got to do is just pull on just slightly, not too much, because in space you don't need too much force to pull another object towards you.
Yep.
But she let go. I mean, he let go, and then they both just flew up apart.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Gravity is an interesting one. You guys know Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yep.
Scientist, personality. He has like a video on YouTube, you could probably find it, where he criticizes the scientific accuracy of the movie Gravity. And like, it's just like every 2 minutes, just like, that wouldn't happen. That's not real. That doesn't work. That's pretty funny. He does the same thing with The Martian, the Matt Damon movie. And that one, apparently, according to him, and I trust his big brain more than I do my little brain, that one is pretty accurate scientifically, but Gravity is not. So check those videos
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Well, like Andy
Doesn't make
Weir,
any
who was
sense.
the author of The Martian, yeah, he took a lot of time and he consulted a lot of like NASA scientists and other astrophysicists on how, and even like people who are like experts on Mars in terms of like what would happen, what could happen, can you actually grow potatoes on Mars? And if so, how? Yeah. Yeah, he did a lot of like, the genre is called like hard science fiction, where
Okay.
the authors try to align very, very closely to what's scientifically possible. So it's more science, less fiction.
Makes sense. And just for reference, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a celebrity astrophysicist and science communicator
Yeah.
at Harvard University.
Yeah, I got one more. So, in most sci-fi movies, especially with the people with superpowers, I think in real life it's actually impossible for a human to evolve in that fast pace. Something to happen. So how come people are bitten by a spider and then all of a sudden they have special powers?
You're a Spider-Man.
Convenient
now.
plot points. That's pretty much the answer.
It's like evolution doesn't even exist.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, comic book movies have like so many convenient plot points. Like Mary Jane is always around trouble. Like it just everywhere she goes, it's like there's always something happens and she's always caught up in it. Like how
low.
is they just lay low for a while. just stay home. Like just why aren't you at home watching Netflix like everybody else?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like the suspension of disbelief with comic books.
Yeah.
Like every villain gets his powers from, I don't know, some nuclear accident or whatever. But like, no, you that's radiation poisoning. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
You know.
Or like the Fantastic Four, it was gamma rays that radiation that exposed them. But if you know anything about gamma rays, they're really powerful rays. Like you would just get obliterated by gamma rays. So yeah, the whole story of the Fantastic Four would just be like 4 people out in space getting obliterated by the sun's radiation.
The Incredible Hulk, what's his? Doesn't he get some sort of ray?
X-rays, same thing. He would just get obliterated.
Like this is just cancer. You're not a superhero. Like it doesn't make sense.
He just has an advanced form of cancer.
Like, I was thinking more that he would get cancer, but all right, that works too. That works too.
Yeah, they said when they would actually probably all develop cancer. Yeah, Fantastic Four, Peter Parker, the Hulk, probably half of the X-Men. Like they would all just develop cancer. Yeah,
but it's funny that nobody questioned that when like the first comic book editions of these heroes came out. It wasn't like, well, that doesn't make sense. It was like, okay, cool. Like he's a spider now. I guess because people want that story, that disbelief, right? So
yeah,
whatever. It's plot holes. It is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this seems plausible.
Whatever.
Yeah. And then they
magical radiation.
And then they get bogged down in trying to like make this like very far-fetched idea actually work or kind of seem somewhat scientific.
But like you have ones like Venom. Like isn't he an alien or something? Wouldn't have
it's bodies. Like symbiote or something.
I could buy that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. I could buy that because that's, you don't need an explanation. It's an alien.
Yeah,
yeah.
It takes over bodies. Cool.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But like radiation poisoning, that doesn't turn you into a hero.
Oh yeah, yeah. And like Mark Ruffalo has like a good set of hair. Like he's not bald from this. Like
super handsome and muscular. Just a little green. That's all.
Yeah, I would like to see the Hulk and Superman fight. That'd be a good showdown.
Like I'm trying to think like physically how painful it is for your muscles to just expand and then also contract back again.
Your body would just explode.
Yeah, and the stretch marks too.
Yeah.
Yeah, or my favorite is when the pants size down and up with him.
Oh yeah.
Like that's pretty good spandex.
Is that Lululemon?
Yeah. Yeah, like why didn't they get all over that? Like Lululemon could have easily sponsored that and just like, I mean, it's probably like a very far-fetched bogus claim and maybe that's why, but
oh yeah, true. The lawyers would have to say some stuff. But you can get into like product placement when
like
the
in the
Hulk
movie
is normal.
You have like, Tony Stark talking to the Hulk and being like, "Oh, like how do you not lose your pants all the time?" And he's like, "Oh, cuz Lululemon." There you go. Yeah, they should have been all over that. Yeah, opportunity missed.
All right. Shall we move on to
comedy?
A couple of comedy ones from me. The main characters always live in like a luxurious apartment or a house, and they never work and have endless energy to go about their life shenanigans when they get home from work, if they do work.
Oh yeah.
Like there's just never like drain from life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Another comedy one. Everyone always seems to be able to magically travel wherever they want, whenever they want. Like there's no passport or reservations that they need to do. They're just ready to go. There's no planning or stress or anything.
And in the previous example that you made, but they get to sit in the same place. Like no one sits in that chair.
What show is this?
Oh, Big Bang Theory?
Friends.
Oh, Friends, right?
Friends,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah, everyone always sits in the same thing. They always wear, like, the same style clothing. Only the colors of the clothing change. They don't, like, dress differently all the time. I find comedies, like, I don't know, like, the plot holes aren't really more focused on. It's just kind of like the gimmick of the relationship. They don't really, they don't try to do too much.
I think comedy gets away with plot holes the most because it's like a lot of times it's part of the gag. So
Yeah.
you can get away with it. You're like, comedy.
Or they could be, like, self-aware about it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the fourth wall or whatever.
Yeah. If there is, like, a glaring plot hole, you're more willing to forgive it just because you kind of want that ride. You want that fun, you know? There probably is probably somebody on Reddit, like, you know, critiquing plot holes in comedies. And
Yep.
You ruined it for everyone.
yeah. Well, in The Hangover 2, this wouldn't actually happen. Like, oh, God.
Just have fun with it.
Just go away, Ted. Just no one wants you. And I guess for our final category is just movies in general. Just things about movies that just always seem to come up. So I'll start is that we covered a lot about convenient plot devices. You know, how a great aunt always passes away in like the fourth act, leaving you a ton of money and that suddenly fixes all your problems. The one that always gets me is like, in reality, we have sleazy defense lawyers that just get their clients off all the time. But for some reason, every lawyer in movies is like they have a moral compass and that's stronger than their desire to be rich for some reason. Yeah, like it's not how it actually works. I want to see more sleazy lawyers in movies. I mean, I guess there is Devil's Advocate, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, they're out there.
Like even Suits, they have a moral compass. Like no, that's not how a law firm would work.
Another general observation. The narrative catch-up dialogue. You know what I'm talking about. So it's like dialogue that catches the viewer up on what's happening in that person's life. So like, hey, person who is my husband, remember when our child was kidnapped, leaving us in search of revenge? Like, That's not how people talk in real life, you know?
Well, speak for yourself. I always have those catch-up dialogues. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Or the piece of dialogue that always like, oh, good thing they invented this one device back 5 years ago that allows us to do this one specific thing.
It's funny because they're trying to solve the plot hole by doing that.
Yeah.
So in a way,
create a device.
It works. But it's just not how people act in real life. So it feels weird.
Another one about dialogue, because a lot of good dialogue comes from like just characters like ripping into each other. But like clearly in movies, at least a lot of movies I've seen, like wokeism doesn't exist. Like you don't have people like recording it on TikTok and getting offended. Yeah, none of this like wokeism stuff exists in movies.
There's no outrage.
Yeah, no one would watch it. No one would watch the movie. So what does that say about our society and wokeism?
Interesting. I like that one.
Another general observation is in a lot of like the cop and also lawyer shows, they're all miserable.
That sounds pretty accurate. No, I kid.
Or how that one superior always gets transferred in and you always have like a past with them. Like you were like former lovers in college and then now they're your boss on this kid. Like, ugh. Yeah.
Or you went to police college with them or whatever.
Yeah.
There's always
or
a
like,
past.
Yeah, you help them cover up something and now it's like been haunting you ever since and you want vengeance. And, like what are the odds of that happening? Like the amount of like times it happens in a movie. I don't know.
Pretty often. Nobody locks their car doors.
Oh yeah.
You ever notice that? Like when characters get to their destination, they never lock their cars. There's never the beep beep. They just like get up and leave.
Yeah.
You know? And they also always find perfect parking right in front of the destination that they need to be at. They never park like 2 blocks down the road, like downtown Chicago, where there's no parking. They just park right in front of the building. Perfect.
Yeah.
Run
And the
in.
keys
Take
are
it to
always
the
in
club,
the car.
it's like right there.
The keys are always in the car in the visor, right? Like the sun visor.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you do that with your keys, probably hide them somewhere else in your car. But even still, apparently everybody knows how to spark a car, spark the engine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a skill everyone should have
Apparently, yeah. Or everybody in
in
movies
movie
does.
world.
They also know how to all pick locks too. Like nothing is safe in these movie worlds.
Yep. Or hacking only takes a few seconds. Like you just hit a few random keys as fast as possible, and you hack the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, same as passwords.
Yep.
And they always give like a stream of consciousness dialogue about what they're doing as they're hacking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And mouses never work. Like it's always, if they're on a computer, they're always typing on the keyboard. No one ever uses a mouse.
Right. Not even a trackpad. Just straight to the fast typing. And we hack away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I knew it was Tom's birthday on this date, so I figured that was his password. Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like ADJF 73,000. Like, it's Tom's birthday.
Oh, and satellite imagery is always like very sophisticated. You can like zoom in on a person all the way from space.
Another one too is like in movies, they travel to another country, and perhaps they're looking for a friend, and it's so easy to find a friend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like the coincidence interactions. That's another good one for romance. Not to go back to that, but like you see that person again in like an unlikely setting. Like if you're in New York City, like what are the chances you're running into them
Right.
at the exact same time?
Yeah.
And they fall in love.
Yep.
Yeah. The only explanation is that they're stalkers.
Yeah, that works too. They just don't tell you that.
Yeah.
Speaking of general romance things, sex interactions are always perfect. Like it's always like the perfect mix of passion and animalistic sex, and then you just roll over and there's no need to clean up anything. Just put the cover up a little higher towards the chest, and now we're gonna have some witty banter.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't have to clean up anything. Yeah.
It's fine. It's always perfect. Another one that's fun for general ones, turning on the TV at the right moment when the news delivers the information you need to hear.
Yeah.
Right. Or if like you're in the older movies where they had videotapes, they rewind a tape at the exact time that needs to be rewinded at. So to move the narrative along. There's no like
everything is convenient.
It's all perfect. Nobody waits for anything. Like coffee's ready to go, taxis are there. There's just no need for patience in movies.
Yeah. And nobody uses
Don't
drive-through
wait for
either.
anything.
Yeah, just
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
never noticed that. It's all just
Like no one's
ready
sitting
to
in
go.
drive-through in like Dunkin' Donuts. They always go into the coffee shop. Yeah, and then they're like friends with everybody in there. And
women don't grow any hair in survival situations. Sorry, ladies. But yeah, apparently all women in movies have already done like laser hair removal, and there's no need to shave any leg hair that will never grow. If you're on an island or something.
yeah, or they've been stranded for like a week, and the guy only has like a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, or perfect hair and makeup at all times. Wonder Woman never flustered. Just
Yep.
Perfect hair and makeup.
Yeah.
Ready for
Fights in
close-up.
heels and doesn't break her ankle.
Come on.
Nope. Can run in it.
Catwoman does like spinning back heel kicks. She's fine. No problem.
Yeah, footwear is always questionable. Yeah. Like even all like the Bond girls, they're always like high heels. Right? Catwoman, high heels. Wonder Woman, high heels.
They have to.
They got to show off.
Like how do they not break an ankle?
They're just graceful. They're graceful.
Apparently, yeah.
Here's another one. Nobody ever says goodbye on the telephone. They just kind of hang up.
Oh yeah.
It's so rude.
Rude.
Just like, okay, here's the plot device that we're talking about. Here's what's going on, and then just hang up the phone. Like, why not like set a date?
No one has to exchange numbers. Basically, like everybody in this world is like rude, knows how to hijack a car, knows how to break into a car, knows how to pick a lock, but is apparently friends with everybody at their coffee shop. Doesn't sit and drive through. Yeah, is really agile enough to actually like fight crime in high heels, and yeah, has had laser hair removal. So yeah, it's quite the parallel universe. Yeah.
After an X-ray accident.
Oh yeah, and they heal very well.
Yeah, great healing. In fact, you get stronger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that sums up this episode, really.
Yeah, it pretty much sums up all movies. I don't know which world I would rather live in, movie world or the real one.
I choose the movie world.
Yeah, you choose.
I don't want to wait
world?
in line for coffee.
Yeah.
That's your whole reason and motivation.
Instant coffee. Amazon now.
All right, so Mike, would you live
in
in
a club? You just park in front. You just hop in.
Yeah, you always have Rockstar parking. Okay, all right, Mike, what would you do? The movie world or the real world?
Probably movie world. Same answer as Kojo. I like instant coffee.
Yeah, even like with all like break-ins and crime and how violent New York is.
Yeah, I'll figure out a solution.
Like if I was in the movie world, I would own a contracting, like a building company in New York. The amount of times you would have to like rebuild these buildings, you would just make bank like hand over fist, right? Like you would just have
Gotham
like the
City.
entire Empire State Building just prefabricated over and over and over again, and like every time, like it gets blown up or giant ape comes to town or something like that, that you would just we just already have the materials ready to go. Yeah, mind you, the amount of people who would be leaving New York because it's so dangerous, there'd just be no one living there. But
It's like Gotham City.
yeah, like no one would live there. Yeah, definitely don't visit the Statue of Liberty because there'd be like a terrorist attack every other week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The Joker was all over that.
yeah, oh
Heath
for sure.
Ledger's
Yeah,
Joker.
yeah.
What about you, Alex? Movie world or real world?
I like the predictability of the real world, and I don't know, this movie world is just way too confusing. I don't know if I could just trust people who would just like, rob me one day and the next day they're like my friends at the coffee shop. Yeah.
Well, you can fight these people and you don't have to worry about the broken arm because you just pop it in.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Right, you're good.
You don't have to worry about concussions. You're fine. Unless you're in the horror world.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
horror
exactly.
world,
Yeah.
you're just a bumbling idiot that just follows danger for some reason.
Yeah, you always get
Just can't figure out how to live properly.
yeah.
Just go away. Don't go towards the danger.
Just make sure you're like the protagonist if you're out with your friends. Like you are the main couple, because
you
then
gotta
you
be.
and your significant other, you'll survive. Everyone else will die probably. And always the funny one of the group seems to get it the worst. I find whoever's like the Joker or the clown, they always get it the worst. I don't know what it is with ghosts and funny people. I guess they just don't like their humor and then just
They're not having
I
it.
don't like them.
They're not having it.
yeah.
Stop lightening the mood.
You're supposed to be scared, damn it.
Gotta eliminate that guy or girl. All right. Well, I think we should wrap up.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I guess that's it. Yeah. Follow us on the
thanks.
socials. Raised Eyebrow, Twitter, if that still exists, and Instagram. Yeah. You can follow us on. We're also on like YouTube if you prefer to listen that way.
Yeah, we're on YouTube now.
Yeah. We're cool.
Yeah, we're hip. We're with it.
And remember, kids, life is too short to watch the opening credits again. Skip that.
That's my favorite part of the movie.
You watch the opening
the
credits
previews.
every time?
Oh, I watched opening and then the closing credits. I watched all of them.
You watch so even like that black scroll like about all the names and stuff like
Yeah.
you watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's dedication. I don't
Yeah,
watch
it is.
that. But
Yeah.
the opening
There's-
credits, like the previews, you mean, or like the, this
Opening credits.
produced by this company.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
What we usually do is like we try to look and then see names that like you see all the Chinese names, you see Indian names,
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
for all the
You know,
shooting locations.
American
yeah.
names,
Yeah.
locations.
Yeah, you do kind of learn
I dig
stuff.
that.
Yeah, what kind
I
of
dig that,
government
I dig
grants they
that.
got. Yeah, Georgia seems to pop up a lot. Yeah.
You nerd out on it a little bit. I
Yeah.
respect that.
There used to be a website where we used to even go and watch like the title sequence.
Really? Somebody made a website about that?
Yeah.
That's
I guess so.
dedication.
Yeah. There's a lot of work that goes into those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You respect those people. They worked hard on that movie. All right.
And if you're listening and you'd like to check out this site, it's called artofthetitle.com.
Art of the title. Join us next week. Bullets that miss.